this segment of Conquering Your Day Ministries. We're here again with Pastor Keith Butler from Logos Baptist Church, Miami Gardens, Florida. And we're sticking on this subject of relationships. Now, relationships are so important because in life, none of us can live alone. No man is an island. And so somewhere in our lives, we have to enter into a relationship, whether it be male, female, male, male, that's in friendship or business, not a romantic relationship. But no matter what kind of association we have with another individual, it is a relationship. And we've been looking at that. And today we're going to stand and talk about husband and wife, marriage, and that relationship. Kind of interesting, right?
Oh, yeah, very much interesting. Yeah.
Especially when you consider a guy like me that's been married and divorced more than one time.
Wow.
Someone looking at this would actually say,
that's expensive.
Yes. It's very taxing too, I'm telling you. But also, it would make some people say, why would I even venture to talk about that subject?
Definitely.
When I've been unsuccessful at it?
Definitely.
Well, it's because I've been unsuccessful at it that I can discuss it. Because I know the mistakes that were made in my relationship, and I can be an authority on those mistakes to tell you, don't do what I did.
I agree. Basically, what I can add to that is what marriage is really about. Because a lot of times people get married, and because they fail, like you did, once or twice, that you feel that maybe you're not meant to be married, or maybe you didn't understand. And when the scripture talks about when God put two people together, man should not put asunder.
Right,
if it didn't work, God definitely didn't put you together.
Exactly.
Exactly. One of the things that I think a husband and wife who are married and who's trying to stay married, if you understand a few things that I want to throw at you, I think it can assist you. Mm-hmm. The first thing is, I wish I could take credit for this one, but I got to give it to Dr. Brown here at Logos. He always tell husbands that if you're married, you don't have to win every argument, because 9 and 10 times you won't. The question is actually, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? And many times as men, we just want to be happy. Brothers, I can assure you, you will never be right. You're going to always be wrong in everything. So it's a matter of you just making the decision whether you want to be happy or you want to be right. Secondly, in Genesis chapter 3, verse number 16, it is interesting what God says to Eve about her marriage with Adam. He says that to Eve that the wife will have a desire for her husband. Eve will have a desire for Adam. And the word desire in the Hebrew actually means, the root word, or the root of the word, means to want to control, wants to run. And so a lot of times in marriage, we ask ourselves, or ask God, why she always want to control me? Why, when I tell her to do this, she wants to do that? It's because God put that in her to keep us on our toes, to keep us understanding that, we got somebody who's going to try to run us, and so again, you have to ask the question, do I want to be right or do I want to be happy? Fellas, you can't love your wife without understanding your wife. Here's the third level, and I'm through with that point.
But before you go to your third point,
yes,
I'm glad you read that, because that point explains what's happening in the book of Ephesians, the 5th chapter, verse 22.
Okay.
Where it says, wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands as unto the Lord.
Right.
Because if God knew that part of the curse was that the wife was going to desire the husband, meaning want his position, right?
Right.
He had to go back at some point and give them instruction on exactly what they should do, which is why it was written in Ephesians.
Exactly. Paul went an extra step by saying, submit yourself, because he knows that women will have a tendency to want to take over.
Right.
But it also says, Paul says, husband, love your wives as Christ loved the church. Which means we know how we are in the church. Sometimes with God, we doing the right thing, and sometimes we ain't. Sometimes we listening, sometimes we don't. But yet Christ still loves us. So even if she's a strong-willed woman, if God put you all together, you have to show that love towards her to the point where you won't let that hinder your marriage.
Wow.
The third point, ironically, is that when you know that we're two different creatures, Men don't think like women, and women don't think like men. For example, women are emotional creatures. Men are logical creatures. For example, a woman will leave a man on a feeling. She can feel that you're cheating. She can feel that you're not catching you, but just I feel something wrong. Where a man will go a step further, we got to follow you. We want to check your phone. We want to hide because we want to catch you in the act. Women don't have time for that. Another thing, fellas, you got to watch what you say. I can say, that was stupid what you did. She didn't hear what I did was stupid. She heard you call me stupid, you know. Finally, a man can decide to leave. And when we leave, we make an instantaneous decision. We will get a garbage bag, put our clothes in it, get in the car and drive. Don't know where we're going to go. Don't know what we're going to do. Well, a woman plans it.
Right.
A woman done thought it out. She got some money. She know how the kids going to get to school. And so, therefore, we're different. And when we know we are different, then we ought to handle each other differently. Sisters, don't think he knows what you're thinking. And brothers, don't think she knows what you're thinking. We are two different creatures.
Yeah.
And that's how you stay married.
Yeah, you know, you said that a man will get a garbage bag and put his clothes in there. Mm-hmm. He will also get his stereo too. You know,
he'll get a stereo too. That's right.
Never leave that stereo behind.
And the microwave mama left.
And the microwave the mama left.
Yeah, definitely.
But you know, I read a book. The late Dr. Edwin Lewis Cole wrote a book called Money, Sex, and Communication.
Yes.
And he said that those are three things that can tear a marriage apart. And it was a very good book because what it really boils down to is communication.
Communication.
Because even if you got problems with money and you communicate them effectively, you can still have a successful marriage.
That's right.
Even if you have problems with sex and you communicate it effectively, you can still have a successful marriage.
Definitely.
So the essence to a successful relationship, not only understanding their position, but also understanding that you've got to communicate to each other.
Also, in conclusion, we don't believe in common law marriages. We don't believe that if you get married, if you stay together for 8-10 years, that you're automatically married. That's not biblical. That's not in the Word. If you're going to be married, you need to go before God, usually with a man or woman of God, and stand before people and honor your vows with God. Finally, on that, if you need a license to fish, if you need a license to drive, if you need a license to do anything else, or tote a gun, you need a license to be married.
Yes.
So don't let nobody fool you. Don't let a brother or a sister fool you. You need to do it. Render unto Caesar, which is Caesar. So if the law of the land is to get a license, if he loves you or she loves you, you will get the license.
Yes. I want to leave one scripture with you, and I want you to take a look at this scripture in your own personal time. It's in the book of Ephesians, starting at the 5th chapter, verses 21 through 33, where it gives a very vivid description of the job of both the husband and the wife in a marriage. It's important that we understand our position, understand our roles, because when we step out of our position and out of our roles, then we're stepping out of the boundary of Christ, and we're allowing the enemy to seep in and destroy what God has already built. Listen, thank you very much for attending. We love you, and we want you to do one more thing for us. Go out and conquer your day.
Thank you.